If earth peace is to herald the dawn of the new age, realize that
Humanity is one's only religion, breath one's only prayer, and consciousness one's only God.
in order to further his vision of new life awakening for earth peace and the evolution of human consciousness, Yogi Raj Siddhanath founded the Hamsa Yoga Sangh, a non-profit organization. After his deep and personal experience with Shiv Goraksha Babaji. Blessed with this direct experience, Yogi Raj Siddhanath has crystallized the essence of this wisdom of the oldest of yogic traditions, the Nath Sampradaya, into the teachings, practices, and services performed by the Hamsa Yoga Sangh.
Yoga is an inner ascent through ever more refined and ever more expanded spheres of consciousness to get to the God essence which lies at the core of your own being. And once you can contact this divine indweller, you can contact the universal indweller. We do have a good support system that wherever we go in the United States of America or Switzerland or Italy, we have teachers who can give you the support system and teach you and guide all newcomers. In India also we have a good support system. And of course, principally, I am not a teacher, since I do not teach. A master does not teach. He gives the direct experience. You see, the teacher teaches very systematically and in an organized way. The master catches you, he shakes you and he wakes you up. So I'm a waker, movers and shakers.
Quite simply and effortlessly, Yogi Raj reveals to the initiated and the uninitiated alike how, at the level of consciousness, all humanity is one. Thus, acting as a catalyst for positive change and towards inner transformation, Hamsa Yoga Sangh helps you witness your innermost self flowering and evolving into a newer being. Let not precious moments slip by. Seek now the ultimate truth. Jiva Hamsa, spread your wings to fly, immortal realms which death defy.
Your whole existence. Because he is there, you are there. Because the ocean is there, the waves are there. If the ocean is not there, the waves will not be there. But the ocean has no hand in what form or shape the waves may take, who are us. You understand?
Can I ask a follow-up to that? How does, why is the system the way it is? Why is there karma? Well, in other words, you explained it in terms of karma, but why is there karma? I mean, why are things the way they are?
That's a nice question. I'll give you a nice answer. Because they are the way they are. That's why they are the way they are. It's a perfect answer for your question, fitting it word to word. Can't give you a better answer. Why are things as they are? Because they are as they are. That's why they are as they are.
No intelligent design.
And so you can carry on with that statement ad infinitum, add Google.
So God didn't design karma, it just is.
Just is. Because the answers to these questions are not found in intellectual speculation. The answers to these questions are found in meditation. You have to actualize the experience.
Okay, sounds good.
Because it's the same thing like for thousands of years, people have been trying to prove God and they have failed. For thousands of years, people have been trying to disprove God and they have also failed. Because God is not a subject of discussion or intellectual speculation. God is personal experience. God is a subject of personal experience, validated by personal experience. I
Aye.
Yes.
So have you seen God?
I am God to the extent I have seen God. I have seen God to the extent I have seen God, because God is infinite. No human being or God can ever see God. His name is Ananta. His name is unending, infinite. And definitely I can see God. Definitely I have seen God in my meditation as an ineffable light, as joy. I am seeing God through you. I am seeing God through your questions. I can see the auras around you. I can see your pulsating souls in your hearts and your third eye. Definitely I have seen God. There is nothing but God. If you ask me, have you not seen God? Then that would be a difficult question, because I would not be able to answer it, because there's no way He is not. If He is omniscient and omnipresent, there's no way He is not. How can I not see Him? I see Him in you, therefore I serve humanity as God. I serve humanity as my larger self. This is in a general sense, in a philosophic sense, but in a true sense too, yes. But I have not seen Him in His complete entirety. I have not seen Him in His complete wholeness. Because the day I do, I shall vanish from the face of the earth, never to return, evermore.
Aye.
Does that appeal to you? Do you think God is a joke? I mean, is he just some sort of a cartoon who's roaming around, like a court jester? And God is God. I mean, those eyes that have seen Him, you cannot see, the tomfoolery of the world. The gaze that has been absorbed, if you see God in His totality, you shall be merged into God. No man hath at any time seen God. Are these words familiar to anyone? No man hath at any time seen God except the only begotten Son who dwells in the bosom of the Father. This is the Bible. I feel very sad because I'm the only true Christian here, and of course you people have got the higher title of pagans. You can but I am the true Christian who's detested by people in America. They don't like the churches here. But I was indoctrinated when I was a small person. The missionaries left no stone unturned to see that we were thorough Christian. Onward Christian soldiers marching on to war, and all the Christmas carols. So, what does Jesus mean by this? He doesn't mean that He's the only Son. He means it in a generic sense, in a metaphoric sense. The only begotten Son who dwells in the bosom of the Father. In meditation, when you see the cosmic consciousness, there's the star, the Tara. That star is the only begotten Son. Shivanetra Tara. Each one of us have it potentially in us. Only that star, the stargate, has been able to see the Father in its entirety and connect with us. It is the bridge between divinity and humanity. Now the modern quantum physicists have found out that within the supermassive black hole, certain supermassive black holes which have a naked singularity, within which is a stargate. It's the same. The naked singularity is the spine, the stargate is here. Each one, when you do the Jyoti Mudra, is there any Jyoti? The Jyoti Mudra is taught always, isn't it?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, morning is the Kriya and tomorrow night is the Jyoti Mudra. And day after tomorrow night, Shakti.
Yes.
So don't you think that's giving them a little bit too much food? But there is it has to be placed there. We thought it was better to give Shakti. This is a sequence. Whatever. Yes.
How does one, if the desire of the heart for the increase of the meditation is, how do you, it feels like the trick is to release the tension of the should, to actually achieve the arrival at the increased sadhana.
To relieve the tension of the what? The mind.
The should in the mind.
The what?
You
Should.
I should
Must
do
or
this, I
have
should
to.
do that.
But
The
how do
should.
how do
Oh, I
you
should
get-
do this, I should do
How do
that.
you trade places? The desire of the heart with the should of the mind so that the increased sadhana occurs.
Yes, you should just do it. Or should not just do it. The word should not be there, you see. Right? That is not a good word. It sort of blocks things. Do it.
Well, I had a question. It's not as lofty as a lot of your other questions tonight, but I was curious about Ayurvedic gemstones and wearing them and in correlation with your Vedic astrology. Is this a value? Is this a deep thing?
Yes, it is. It is a deep thing. It is value. If you go to the origin of the universe and then more immediate, the origin of our solar system, if you scientifically study it, even to a little depth, you will find out that we are nothing but stardust. Human beings are spray of this molten lava gas, thrown out by the spinning sun, and one blob is our earth, which cooled, became iron, and later all the gems and minerals were formed in that of the same substance from which the other planets were formed. Now each of the gemstones here are connected with the other planets. Because it's truly the planets we are born from the one family of the sun. And we are the breath of their breath and the sweat of their sweat. Therefore, the movement of other planetary bodies affect the affairs of human beings on earth. This is true. And the stones help you connect with that planet to mitigate its adverse effects and to augment its benevolent effects. So therefore, yes, definitely, it is a science and it has a lot of effect and truth in it, in the relative dimension. Because every full moon, what happens? It affects the tides, the high tide and the low tide. They took a study in all maternity homes. They found the maximum amount of children were born towards the full moon when the tide, because a human being is 80% water, 80% plus. The woman, the womb is placenta, water. So when it expands, the pressure is there. So therefore, it's easier for the delivery. So that's what the statistics showed, that the women responded to the circadian rhythms of not only the earth cycles, but the moon cycles also. And even temperamentally. They say that there's quite a difference between two halves. Because they were androgynous, then they broke up. There's quite a difference. The man has not been able to understand the woman completely, and the woman has not been understand the man completely. That's why the man, he blows it up many times, and he doesn't know why his girlfriend's very angry or this thing. And then he feels it's a trivial thing because man is cruder in his sensitivities. Sometimes you forget to give a flower on the birthday, or you forget to wish the birthday, which the guy usually forgets unless he's reminded, you see. And then it's a blow up. It's a big thing happens. And the man cannot understand why such a commotion has been created about not saying happy birthday in time. Usually he's not in time. So a man has different priorities, a woman has different priorities. And they're getting to know one another, they're introducing one another. But definitely it's not by dating many people. That's not the way to do it. There's a more sensible approach. Astrology could be one of the approaches to tally the horoscope before going in like a blind fool, like a bull in a china shop and blundering up everything. And it's better to, like in India what we do is we show photographs first. Boy and girl like one another. Then we tally, if they say yes, then we tally the horoscopes. Then in the horoscopes we are saying whether the woman will bear a child, number one. Two, whether there in the boy or woman's horoscope there's no premature death. You know, certain basic things of life at that time. Now in the horoscope in America they may say, we don't want her to she should not have many children. I want a woman who has no children. You know, it all depends. But whatever the conditions must be seen in the horoscope first, and then they can approach and date one another. Then there's less chances of the dating, being upset. That's why in India, you will see many marriages carry on for a long time because they're very committed. They do not change partners. In America, in rare cases, you'll find couples who are there for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Or they're sitting because they want a view of the thing, right? Elevated. So here we are. Tomorrow the satsangs will begin. Let us meditate in silence and introduce ourselves. That at the level of consciousness, humanity is one.
Prasanam Jnana Swarupam Nijbodharupam Yogendra Vidiyam Vavarogya Vedyam Shrimad Gurum Nityam Maham Bhajami.
So who knows that the retreat this year may be more of transmission and less of talk. The person who is here, sitting here before you to teach, is dissolving. And if this happens, then there's not much necessity for talk. Talk is only necessary to the extent that you teach. And why do we teach? Why do we do all these things? We do all these things, the seminars, the transmissions, the healings, the meditations, the Kundalini techniques. We do all these things to get to a state of not doing anything. This is the paradox of the whole thing, because all the great masters have said that eternal joy can be had with the cessation of your mind. Now, with the cessation of the mind, what is meant? Not that it disappears, not that you're a mindless zombie or some buffoon blundering around, not at all. It means that you have trained your mind to lie like an obedient dog, subservient to the master, which is your consciousness. Your true self is your consciousness, and your mind is your dog, which has to be trained. And then when you just one come out, tell him, fetch, he has to go and fetch. Here when you tell him, don't fetch, he fetches, and when you tell him fetch, he just sits. This is the state of mind. So this is what it's all about. It must fetch when it's meant to fetch, and sit when it's meant to sit. This is the long and short of the story of the alpha and the omega of yoga. You put the hands of your mind upon the eyes of your soul. You put the hands of your mind upon the eyes of your soul and cry that you cannot see. The Babaji's Kriya Yoga or the Raj Yoga teaches you how to take the hands of your mind off the eyes of your soul and behold the splendor of your own truth, and behold everybody else and the whole world in its true form. You can never perceive the world through mind, but you can know the world as a reality through consciousness. And so simple, it's all over. What I had to say, I've given the message, and it's driven home clean and clear. I. Now what else? Feel the difference. Feel the difference, Larry. Humanity is one's only religion. Breath one's only prayer, and consciousness one's only God.